After I made my girlfriend an influencer, she dumped me. But I didn't tell her my mom is the CEO of a publicly traded company. My girlfriend, Victoria Evans, just said she didn't want a regular job, she wanted to be an influencer. So I supported her, scrimping and saving, buying her all sorts of makeup and new clothes. I ate instant noodles for 3 months, just to get her the latest camera that would make her photos look better. Later, she went viral with one video, gaining 300,000 followers overnight. Unexpectedly, the first thing she did was cheat on me. Chapter 1. Vicky is so beautiful. How did I never notice such a hidden gem before? She's the epitome of innocent yet alluring. All sorts of exaggerated praises for Victoria Evans scrolled across the live comments. She lightly covered her lips with her manicured hand, feigning shyness. "Oh, I'm not as good as you all say. You're making me blush." Suddenly, a sports car icon zoomed across the stream. Then, planes and rockets followed in succession. A truly impressive display. "Thanks to Nate for the sports car. Thanks to Nate for the plane. Thanks." The mechanical voice announcing the gifts didn't stop, and the stream chat instantly erupted. "Mr. Gale is here to pick up his girlfriend from work again." Mr. Gale is always so punctual picking Vicky up. I'm shipping them so hard amidst the crowd's cheers, the user ID Nate typed a few words. "Seen enough? She needs to clock off." The live comments exploded again. This is like a domineering CEO romance, come to life. They're so cute together. Hold on, I'm going to drag City Hall over here for you two. Watching all this on my screen, my blood pressure shot up to 180. Not for any other reason than that the person everyone in the chat was clamoring for them to marry Victoria Evans was my girlfriend. Chapter 2. Victoria Evans was 4 years younger than me. We got together when she was a junior in college. She drifted through her 4 years of college, didn't get any of the necessary certifications, and had no work or internship experience. Right after graduation, she hit roadblocks everywhere. She even got fired from a cashier job for being too slow. Back then, she cried every day, telling me with swollen eyes, "Sincere, my mom says I'll have to work in a factory, but I really don't want to. What should I do?" I genuinely loved her then, and my heart ached for her. I wiped the tears from her eyes and asked, "So, what kind of work do you want to do?" I was thinking that for her, even if I had to use all my connections, I would find her a good opportunity. She sniffled a couple more times. "Sincere, I want to be an influencer." She was pretty, with good looks. Becoming an influencer seemed like a viable path. I agreed to her request and helped her find several agencies. But she either complained it was too tiring, or that her status was lower than others, and she was being bullied. In the end, she didn't stay with any company for more than 3 months. Helpless, she could only take photos and edit videos at home. This went on for 3 years. For 3 years, her food, clothing, and living expenses were all covered by me. To maintain her respectable influencer lifestyle, I sometimes worked 3 jobs a day, toiling like an ox. When I got home at night, she wouldn't have a hot meal ready for me like in the movies. Instead, I had to help her take photos, edit videos, and touch up pictures. But I never complained. Those hard days were also mixed with sweetness, because she would always hug my neck and say coquettishly, "Sincere takes the best photos." Not long ago, she went viral with a dance video, which got over 2 million likes. Overnight, her followers increased by 300,000, and she suddenly became a moderately famous influencer. Her previously empty live streams were instantly flooded with new people. She started earning an income, so I didn't have to work multiple jobs anymore. With some free time, I specifically went to check out her live stream, only to witness that scene. Chapter 3. After the live stream ended, Victoria Evans stretched lazily and walked out of the room. Her silk pajamas clung to her body, revealing subtle curves. "Your boyfriend picks you up from work every day?" I suppressed my anger and questioned her. She first froze, then said nonchalantly, "That's just netizens talking nonsense. Don't mind them. It doesn't look like nonsense to me." For netizens to dare talk about City Hall and marriage, it meant their interactions had been going on for a long time, and she had never thought of clarifying. "Enough, Sincere Miller, he's my top gifter, what can I do?" She impatiently slammed the bathroom door, and soon the sound of running water came from inside. Ever since she gained followers, her temper had worsened considerably. Our communication became less and less frequent. Even intimacy was something from last month. I was silent for a moment, then came back to my senses. She had already changed her clothes and put on simple, exquisite makeup. I asked, puzzled, "It's 9 at night. Are you still going out?" "Yeah, playing cards with friends for a bit." An ominous feeling crept into my heart. I didn't stop her. I let her go. I followed her all the way to the entrance of our apartment complex. A Mercedes was parked there. Seeing Victoria come out, a young man in a suit got out of the car. The man naturally put his arm around her waist and brushed his lips against hers. My mind buzzed. I clenched my fists, ready to go and punch him. Then I heard Victoria's delicate voice as she pushed the man away. "Wait, someone might see us." Chapter 4. I hailed a taxi and followed their car. On the way, my whole body was trembling, mostly from an anger that was almost suffocating. But even more, it was the pain and unwillingness of being betrayed. The man took her to an exquisite high-end restaurant. Under the flickering candlelight, Victoria nestled intimately in his arms, the two of them kissing passionately. I stood outside the glass window like a clown, watching them, still clinging to a sliver of hope, until finally, they embraced and went to a hotel, shattering my last hope. My phone vibrated. Victoria had sent me a text message. "Sincere, I'll be playing cards all night. Don't wait up for me, go to bed early." I indifferently turned off my phone and took out the diamond ring from my pocket. The diamond on it sparkled, somewhat blinding. This was the style she had personally chosen a year ago when I took her to the store. At that time, I was under a lot of pressure and had no money. After a year of hard work, I finally managed to buy it. I was even thinking of giving her a surprise. Now, everything was gone. My eyes felt as if sand had gotten into them, and tears welled up instantly. Chapter 5. I tilted my head back, not letting the tears fall. As the hatred in my heart continued to rise, my last shred of rationality vanished. I bought a baseball cap and a baseball bat from a nearby supermarket. Pretending to be hotel staff, I knocked on the adulterous couple's door. They weren't on guard, really thinking it was the front desk. The moment the door opened, I took out the baseball bat I had prepared and swung it hard at them. The man didn't react in time and took the blow squarely on his arm. Crack, that was the sound of bone breaking. The man endured the excruciating pain and cursed. "Who the hell are you, psycho?" I found him too noisy and couldn't be bothered with his nonsense. Raising the baseball bat with both hands, I brought it down hard again. This time, he went completely silent. Victoria Evans screamed, "Ah, Sincere Miller, are you crazy?" My eyes were bloodshot. Dragging the bloodied baseball bat, I walked towards Victoria. "You bitch, why would you do this to me?" Victoria stumbled back a couple of steps, frightened, and fell to the ground. Her screams were about to burst my eardrums. "Shut up," I kicked a nearby vase. She hurriedly knelt on the ground and apologized to me. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong." With a thud, the baseball bat landed beside her, kicking up a cloud of dust. "Let me go, Sincere, I'll never do it again. I beg you." She burst into tears, her makeup smudged all over her face, looking utterly wretched. I didn't want to hear anything she said, but I never intended to actually do anything violent. I was just too angry and wanted to teach her a lesson. The commotion was too loud, and soon it attracted security. Chapter 6. Because of my impulsive anger, I paid a hefty sum for medical expenses, which nearly wiped out all my current savings. I was also criminally detained for a month for intentional assault. During that sunless month, I lived like a zombie. Dark stubble covered my entire face, but I seemed completely oblivious to it. I was so dejected I even thought about just dying. The moment I was released from the police station, the sunlight was so bright I couldn't open my eyes. That familiar Mercedes was parked at the entrance. Victoria Evans, dressed to the nines, got out of the car. As she approached me, she disdainfully covered her nose with her hand. "Sincere Miller, now that you know, I won't hide it anymore. I'm here today to tell you we're breaking up." Victoria Evans, Is there a more shameless woman than you in this world? You latched onto a rich guy, and now you want to kick me to the curb? Victoria lowered her eyes, touching the large pearl earring on her earlobe. Sincere, I can't help it. You can't give me what I want. Besides, my 300,000 followers wouldn't want to see me with a truck driver, would they? After saying that, she let out a low laugh. She thought that now that she had followers and had become a minor influencer, she had soared to new heights, transformed into a phoenix. So she started to look down on me and pick faults, thinking I wasn't good enough for her. Had she forgotten who used to squeeze into a tiny rented room with me, who used money earned through sweat and toil to satisfy her lavish lifestyle? I spat at her. Victoria Evans, if I had known you were this kind of person, I would never have helped you in the first place. The man in the car honked the horn. Buddy, if Vicky hadn't pleaded with me, I would have sent you to jail. What are you still complaining about? He said it as if I should be grateful to Victoria. But my impulsive mistake back then, who was it because of? I sneered, one day you'll regret not sending me to jail today. Chapter 7. After breaking up with me, Victoria Evans went back and officially announced her relationship with that man. We were together for 3 years and she never thought of making it official. She kept our relationship so well hidden that no one found out. The person she announced her relationship with was, unsurprisingly, that Nate she had been flirting with online. I had previously found out his real name was Nathaniel Gale, a young CEO. This move once again sparked heated discussions among netizens. Everyone celebrated them, claiming they were shipping a real couple. Victoria gained a wave of fans who loved shipping couples. I learned my lesson from the last incident. I wouldn't be impulsive this time. I compiled the story of my relationship with Victoria, along with our chat logs and transfer records, and posted everything online. Didn't she want to be a big influencer? Then let her fans see clearly what kind of person this big influencer truly was. This reversal caught Victoria completely off guard. The fact that I was her ex-boyfriend was undeniable, and the most recent transfer records were from just last week. At that time, she and Nate were all over each other in the live stream. The solid proof also included some of our intimate chats. I believed that as long as netizens used their own judgment, they would side with me. What? The couple I shipped was actually the girl cheating? And she dares to make it official now. Isn't this like force-feeding me crap? Oh my God, this is some rented room romance drama. I feel so bad for the original poster. More and more people gathered in the comments section, while Victoria's side remained silent. I thought Victoria was too scared to respond. Unexpectedly, after 3 days, Victoria directly updated with a video of herself holding her ID card. The title of the video was, "I was sexually harassed by my ex-boyfriend." Just the words sexually harassed were explosive enough. In the video, she wore plain white clothes, looking very haggard, as if she were making a display of penance. She said, "When I was still a student, Sincere Miller tricked and threatened me, sexually harassing me for a year. I was very scared and didn't dare tell anyone, but I was also in great pain, often unable to sleep at night. I had no choice but to imagine this was love, so that I would feel less uncomfortable psychologically. But it wasn't until I met Nate. He was so gentle and considerate, caring for me, that I understood what true love is. I shouldn't have betrayed him. Every day I was with Nate, I felt a strong sense of moral guilt, but I just couldn't control myself. It's all my fault. I'm willing to quit the internet to make up for my mistake. My sincere devotion, what I thought was love that had finally overcome hardship. In her words, it was transformed into a sensational story of sexual harassment. How ridiculous. At that moment, even though my heart had died many times, I still felt a numb pain. Chapter 8. In the video, her words were firm, her emotions intense, playing the victim to perfection. The comments below were as she expected. The person who should quit the internet isn't you, it's that demon. My heart aches for my goddess. This is truly too tragic. No girl would be willing to joke about her innocence. Sister, I support you. You're very brave. You should have broken up with him long ago. The netizens' attitude changed so quickly it was astounding. I didn't expect Victoria could go to such lengths to clear her name. Now, not only did she seem blameless, but she had become the victim, gaining a wave of sympathy. I had underestimated her ability to play the victim. My private messages also exploded, all of them cursing me as a scumbag and a beast. Some even threatened me, telling me to be careful when I went out, lest I get hit by a car. Chapter 9. Now I truly couldn't defend myself. What seemed like solid evidence before had now become fuel for their ridicule. They coined the meme love in the eyes of a sexual harasser for everyone's amusement. Just as I was racking my brains for a countermeasure, Victoria struck again, starting a live stream online to play the sympathy card. The stream's popularity soared, with the number of viewers reaching 100,000. The gift notifications never stopped, far more than she had ever received before. She cried a river of tears, fabricating false stories to gain sympathy. I coldly watched the person on the screen, that face I had seen countless times, suddenly become extremely unfamiliar. Even after breaking up, she had to squeeze out the last bit of value from her ex, stepping on others to climb higher. Or perhaps I had been a poor judge of character from the start, failing to see that she was that kind of selfish person. Unsurprisingly, I lost this online confrontation utterly and completely. For a whole month I stayed at home, not going out, until one day I received a phone call. It was from Victoria. Chapter 10. Sincere Miller, you little rat, what sneaky tricks did you pull behind my back? This sudden barrage of curses left me somewhat bewildered. I opened the app and saw that Victoria's social media account had actually been banned, and all her videos online had been taken down overnight. I let out a huge sigh of relief. This is called evil reaps what it sows. Maybe heaven saw you doing too many bad things and decided to punish you. Don't try to deny it, Victoria shrieked. You're just jealous that I'm doing well, so you pulled some strings behind my back. When I find out, I definitely won't let you off. Bring it on. Am I afraid of you? I sneered. Didn't you say you were going to quit the internet and apologize? Why are you so upset now that you've actually quit? When Victoria's account was first banned, she thought it was an official mistake by the platform. But no matter how many times she appealed, her account couldn't be unbanned. She was frantic, posting on her social circle asking for help everywhere. Finally, a netizen gave her a suggestion. Be careful, you've definitely offended someone important. Victoria thought long and hard. She didn't know anyone in high places, let alone offended them. But if there was anyone she had offended, it was only me. She was certain I was behind it. But in the 3 years we were together, how could I have any connections with high-level people? I was just an ordinary person driving a truck, delivering cement. Chapter 11. Originally, I just thought Victoria had incredibly bad luck. She posted something carelessly and got banned, until I received a call from an unknown number. Sincere Miller. Just those two simple words and I understood everything. The caller was Isabel Young, my biological mother, though there was no affection between us. When I was 6, she cheated on my dad with the son of a local real estate developer, a man named Samuel Thorne. It was said that Samuel Thorne was her first love. They had broken up before because of the vast difference in their family backgrounds and his family's opposition. Later, Samuel Thorne married the county magistrate's daughter. A few years into the marriage, after having a son, his wife died of a heart condition. At some banquet, the two met again, and their old flame reignited like wildfire. My mother directly abandoned my father and me, running off with that man. She didn't even show up to sign the divorce papers. For a full 10 years, she never made a single phone call, nor offered a single word of greeting. Sometimes I even wondered if she hadn't remarried but had been abducted by human traffickers. Otherwise, how could there be no news at all? But not long ago, my mother actually contacted me again, saying she hadn't seen me for so many years and wanted to meet me. I had long harbored deep resentment towards her, so how could I agree? Later, she tirelessly sought me out many more times. I found it strange. Why would such a heartless person suddenly have a change of heart? But I didn't want to find out the reason behind it. Until now, I finally understood what happened with Victoria. Isabel Young had intervened. With her power, banning a minor influencer was an effortless task. Don't expect me to thank you. Even if you hadn't intervened, I wouldn't have let Victoria off. Sincere, Mom doesn't expect you to thank me. I just want to see you. Is that possible? I hated owing favors more than anything in my life. Helpless, I finally agreed to her request. Chapter 12. I knew that a woman as calculating as her. It couldn't possibly be because she suddenly missed her long-lost son and was overcome with maternal love. Something must have happened. My intuition told me she needed something from me. 10 years apart, seeing her again, I was astonished. She had maintained herself so well, time seemed to have left no trace on her face. Her hair was impeccably styled, and her demeanor was elegant and graceful. Compared to her, I looked much more disheveled. I got straight to the point. Tell me, why did you really want to see me? She said, Ethan Thorne is dead. He died of a heart condition. Ethan Thorne was the son of Samuel Thorne and his first wife. So? I still hadn't grasped her meaning. The company is currently in turmoil. Samuel is getting old, and he was hospitalized a while ago because of Ethan's death. Now, there's no one in charge of the company, and I'm afraid its position is unstable. You want me to go to his company? I saw through her scheme in an instant. And be your tool, your puppet, is that it? Nominally, you are my son. Samuel and I are remarried, so you also have inheritance rights. I knew it. She wouldn't suddenly change. Everything was premeditated. Chapter 13. Seeing my hesitation, she didn't push too hard. You can think about it. I won't force you. Anyone in such a situation would inevitably be tempted. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to describe it as a windfall. But back then it was because my mother left that my father developed high blood pressure. He raised me alone and later died suddenly from high blood pressure. He said he hoped I would never have anything to do with her again in this life. I genuinely detested her. How could I just accept her arrangement? It was late at night when I got home. Suddenly a crowd had gathered at my doorstep, completely blocking it. I squeezed through the crowd with all my might. I saw my fierce-looking landlord, Mr. Rourke, and several able-bodied young men hauling all my luggage out. What are you doing? I rushed forward to pick up my luggage on the ground. My clothes had been torn to shreds and my shoes were scattered everywhere. Doing what? Mr. Rourke snorted. You can't pay the rent, so we're just helping you move out. I roared in anger. Isn't rent due in a few days? What right do you have to touch my things now? Is there any law and order left in this world? After paying the medical expenses last time, my savings were depleted, and I was a month behind on rent. I had told him before that I would pay both months' rent together when the second month was due, and he had clearly agreed at the time. If you can't pay the rent, it's no use even if you go to the police. Mr. Rourke rolled up his sleeves and said to the people around, See? This is the consequence of not paying rent. The onlookers had seen enough of the spectacle. After being intimidated like that, they all dispersed. Mr. Rourke cursed a few more times. As he was leaving, he tripped on something and fell. He picked up a red box. Damn it, what is this? It was the diamond ring I had prepared for my proposal. I snapped back to reality, agitated. Give it back, that's mine. I reached out to grab it, but it was too late. Mr. Rourke opened the box, saw it was a diamond ring, and directly pocketed it. What's yours? He spat on the ground. This will cover these 2 months' rent for now. I'll give it back when you have the money. Chapter 14. The police couldn't do anything about this kind of local bully. It was a situation where calls for help went unanswered. I could only consider myself unlucky. I clenched my fists and moved all my luggage to a park bench. The autumn nights were very cold. A gust of wind blew past, chilling me to the bone. Fortunately, the moon tonight was very round and bright. I recalled how, in the past, whenever Victoria and I strolled after dinner, we would always encounter such a moon. At those times, we couldn't help but make wishes, hoping for a beautiful life in the future. The jarring ringtone of my phone pulled me back from my memories. It was Victoria again. How does it feel to be homeless? If I'm not mistaken, you should have been kicked out by now. I instantly realized, you did this? No wonder Mr. Rourke had suddenly changed his mind. It turned out someone was instigating him from behind the scenes. I told you I wouldn't let you off. 3 years of relationship, ending in such an irreconcilable situation. It was chilling just to think about it. I gazed at the bright moon. I also said, I will definitely make you regret not sending me to jail. You're just a penniless bum. What waves can you possibly make? Today's events are your punishment. Open your eyes and be careful who you provoke in the future. I silently hung up the phone. A sleepless night. The next day I called Isabel Young. I agree to your request, but I have a few conditions. Isabel Young agreed readily without even asking for the details. Any conditions are fine. Chapter 15. 1 month later. The bustling Grand Lancaster Hotel. Today was the birthday of the chairman of Thorne Corporation. Almost all the city's celebrities and dignitaries were invited to the birthday banquet. At the banquet, I appeared as Samuel Thorne's stepson. After a month of intensive practice, my speech and demeanor had been polished to be indistinguishable from those present. Everyone flattered me, praising me for being young and promising. I responded to them politely, my eyes scanning the crowd, finally finding a familiar figure. Victoria Evans appeared as Nathaniel Gale's companion, wearing a white floor-length fishtail gown, with elegant and exquisite makeup, adorned with luxurious jewelry. In just a month, she had become much more beautiful. Her social media account had been banned previously, and later she couldn't be bothered to take photos anymore. She simply gave up on being an influencer and wholeheartedly became Nathaniel Gale's mistress. Victoria also saw me in the crowd. When our eyes met, hers were filled with astonishment and disbelief. Excuse me for a moment. An old acquaintance reunited. It would seem impolite of me not to say hello. Victoria thought she was dreaming. How could you be here? How is this possible? I savored the surprise in her eyes. Why shouldn't I be here? I am, after all, the host of tonight's banquet. I offered her a glass of champagne. She glanced at it warily and didn't take it. Nathaniel Gale wasn't by her side, and she seemed a bit afraid of me. You don't have to worry about there being something in the drink. I haven't stooped that low. She really shouldn't worry about that because there would be something much more worrisome later. Suddenly a woman rushed out from the crowd. You home-wrecking hussy, watch me tear your face apart today. An obese woman, with long, sharp nails, reached out directly for Victoria's face. Her nails scratched the skin, and blood immediately gushed out. Victoria turned pale with fright. Security. Security, someone. Come and grab this crazy woman, but no matter how much she shouted, no security would come, because I had already reassigned them. You bitch. Seducing other people's husbands, I'll kill you. I sipped my wine, enjoying the good show before me. Victoria wanted to run, but she was wearing an extremely inconvenient dress. Before she could take 2 steps, her hair was violently grabbed. Brenda Gale was like a madwoman, picking up a 3-inch high heel and bringing it down on Victoria. In no time, her body was covered in bloody welts. As for that Mr. Gale, Nathaniel Gale, the moment his wife arrived, he had already bolted. A perfect setup. Some sighed, some were horrified, but no one dared to step forward and intervene. By the time the police arrived, Victoria had already passed out. Talk about bad luck for Victoria, getting involved with a man whose wife was clinically insane. Even if she were beaten to death, she would have deserved it. Chapter 16. Such a public disturbance at a perfectly good birthday banquet made everyone feel unlucky. The Thorne family stepped in at this point, and everyone received satisfactory compensation. Thus, they turned their criticism towards that incompetent and irresponsible man. I smiled politely. If someone can't even handle their family problems, how can anyone trust them to do business? Regardless of what all of you here decide to do in the future, the Thorne Corporation will absolutely not continue its cooperation with the Gale family. The industry giant had taken a stand, and few dared not to follow suit. Everyone thought it was the Gale family who had ruined Samuel Thorne's birthday banquet, and that the old chairman was angry, leading to this result. In reality, this birthday banquet was just a smokescreen of mine. My real goal was to deal with that despicable couple, Victoria Evans and Nathaniel Gale. Nathaniel Gale was inherently an incompetent fool, usually only knowing how to eat, drink, and be merry. In business, he only enjoyed the resources left by his father. Now that various companies had cut ties with him, he ran himself ragged, but no one was willing to cooperate with him. In the end, he could only end up bankrupt. On the other side, Victoria was severely injured last time. She lay in the ICU for half a month before waking up. Her face was disfigured, and her internal organs were ruptured. It would be difficult for her to live like a normal person again. She frantically looked for a lawyer, but the result was always that the other party was mentally ill, and there was nothing they could do. As for Nathaniel Gale, he could barely fend for himself, so how could he have time to care about her? He probably didn't even know which hospital she was in. I did go to see her once, but only to see how miserable she was. Chapter 17. One day, 2 months later, my secretary, Jenny Smith, told me that a Miss Evans wanted to see me. A Miss Evans, who else could it be but Victoria Evans? Victoria limped in, leaning on a crutch. She looked haggard, her hair messy, as if she had aged 20 years. "Jenny, didn't you say a young lady wanted to see me? Who is this older woman?" Victoria paused, embarrassed. She cradled her stomach and slowly sat down. Sincere. She glanced around my office. "I don't blame you for hiding your family background from me. Everything that happened before was my fault. I deserved it all." I said nothing, wanting to see what she was up to. "But the child is innocent." "What do you mean?" She wiped a tear, aggrieved. "I'm already 4 months pregnant." Under her thin, emaciated clothes, her belly was indeed slightly protruding. She wasn't lying. I couldn't help but marvel. After going through all that, the baby hadn't been lost. That was truly remarkable. She continued, "I didn't realize it before. Later I calculated, and this child is yours. But how could someone be 4 months pregnant and not realize it?" And she deliberately waited until the pregnancy was stable to tell me. Anyone could see through her scheme. Regardless of whose child it was, having such a mother was truly disgusting. "We broke up a long time ago. This child has nothing to do with me. I coldly issued an order to leave, and I didn't say the rest. This child wouldn't be born." Victoria became agitated, kneeling on the floor. "This child is yours. I know you hate me. If you don't believe me, you can do a paternity test later." Victoria wanted to say more, but I waved my hand and security came in. After the evening meeting, Jenny came in to report. She said, "Miss Evans had an accident on her way back today. The doctor said she probably won't make it this time. Last night, the Thorne family held a shareholders' meeting. Samuel Thorne's younger brother, Daniel, had returned. It was a critical time. How could Isabel Young allow such a controversial child to exist? It was a huge threat to the puppet she had painstakingly propped up. She can only blame herself for being so unlucky, for not having the foresight to see the situation clearly." Chapter 18. The vicious struggle within the Thorne family finally ended with Samuel Thorne's younger brother, Daniel, resigning from the board of directors. The storm had passed. It was time for me, the passive puppet, to hand over the power I held. They gave me a very large sum of money, enough to live without worries for the rest of my life. I looked at the bank card resting quietly on the table, and my father's words once again echoed in my mind. "We can live without anything, but we cannot live without integrity." If I took this money today, I would have completely failed his expectations. It would also allow Isabel Young and Samuel Thorne to live out their lives with a clear conscience. Not a chance. I had always remembered that they both owed my father. If I didn't have the ability to retaliate against them before, then now, with enough power in my hands, I would definitely make them both pay the price. I used my authority as interim chairman to examine the company's books for the past few years, finding loopholes. I also collected evidence of Thorne Corporation's tax evasion and submitted it all to the police. The sudden report threw the entire Thorne Corporation into a huge panic. I heard Samuel Thorne was hospitalized again from anger. I left a small clue, making them think that all of this was orchestrated by Samuel Thorne's younger brother, Daniel. No matter how much Daniel Thorne tried to explain, no one believed him, and I just needed to sit back and watch the Tigers fight, enjoying the show. While the company was in chaos, I directly relinquished my duties, no longer serving as interim chairman. I said, I don't want to stay here and go to jail. The rumors among the staff became more and more outrageous. Everyone thought the company was completely finished and submitted their resignation letters one after another. I didn't bother with what happened next. All of this was just an ephemeral dream, having nothing to do with me. I took out the diamond ring I had once prepared for my proposal from my pocket. Under the sun, it still shone so brilliantly. I steeled my heart and threw it fiercely into the rushing river. In the days to come, I just needed to keep my eyes open and start over. One day, relying on myself, I too could reach the summit. End of story.